I hate doing this shit. But at the same time, I love doing it. Not because I need to prove it to be a man. Just because I love doing it. Hey, what's happening? Speed Sprax. I'm out here working out. I kind of find it annoying how the right wing have gained a stranglehold on fitness and everything. It's just the obsession with masculinity and being an alpha male is, quite honestly, it's stupid. And look, I understand the fact that, it's a pipeline. It's a very effective, and strategic pipeline, but it's stupid nevertheless. And, I figured, since I have an outdoor session here on the track, why not talk about fitness while also doing fitness? And also, full disclosure, I haven't used this in 2 weeks, and it was creatine in here, and I left it in the car, and I did clean it out, but I forgot to wash the lid, and I already took a sip of this. So pray for me. Now, don't judge me because I don't like my knees being right on this. It's kind of rough. But fitness being used as a right wing, as a pipeline, the right wing ideology, I meant to say, is nothing new. It's existed for centuries upon centuries. And in a more modern example, the Austrian painter man definitely did that with his youth camps. So it's not like this is something that's, it's came out of nowhere. But in modern internet times, they've done a good job of tapping into that. And it starts innocently enough. People looking for self-improvement, so they start looking up guides and videos, and they run into motivational speeches that have epic background music, and the speech is given by somebody like a David Goggins or whatever. And then the next thing you know, they've gone down the rabbit hole and have spiraled into misogyny, anti-feminism, conspiracy theories, and just this insistent belief that they need to be this alpha, toxic, masculine person. And that's when it gets bad. They tap into those insecurities. If you're a weak man, you don't belong in society. You're worthless. But you know who isn't worthless? Me, because I'm big and strong, and I'll make you strong. So buy my book, buy my course, and become the man that you were always meant to be. Working on 2-step drill. All right. Yeah, my first 2 steps were trash right there, but hey, that's what happens when you kind of let your body go, But that's why we're on the field, getting the shit back. I actually do record when I work out to check my own form, and I know I got a lot of work I got to work on. By all accounts, I'm a pretty big man, pretty strong man, and fairly athletic-ish at this rate, but not the most nutritionally disciplined. I fluctuate a lot from being lean to being fat to being where I am right now, in between, and having to, work on my flexibility a little bit and whatnot, because working has kind of made things go out of hand. But, I'm not your typical person. So whenever I see things like where people talk about, they use language like soy boys and everything else, I think I fall into the criteria of somebody who will see that and find it pretty laughable. Depending on the person saying things like soy boy, I kind of found it laughably ironic, because it's like, you probably shouldn't be the one using it. But look, I don't do none of this that I'm putting here because, I need to prove to people, strangers, how masculine I am or anything. No, I do it for the love of the game. I do it because I love to do it. I do it because of the fact that there'll be a day where I won't be able to do any of this. And look, I'm not as fast as I used to be, as I once was, because of a multitude of reasons. 1, right now, the excess body fat I have, and 2, because of the fact that, work, like most people, work kind of gets in the way of things. Can't really train how I would like to train because of work and bills and everything, which is why I try so hard to eliminate it. You're sitting and everything, your hips start to regress and blah, 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 and it becomes, a constant ebb and flow of keeping those up to par. But lastly, I'm getting older. I'm not the spring chicken I used to be, even though I still feel like I'm somewhat in my prime and have a lot left in the tank. And it's because of that and the previously mentioned reason that, I won't be able to do this forever, that I believe in maximizing my potential now, or at least as much as I can maximize my potential, because there will be a day, if I'm lucky enough, that this body won't be able to do what it used to do. So why not live for the moment rather than have regrets in the future? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But that challenge is why most of us do this, to maximize ourselves mind, body, and spirit-wise, to reach that ultimate goal. So taking that and correlating it into racism, anti-feminism, misogyny, and straight up white supremacy, man, that's some bozo shit, to be quite honest. And is ultimately why, social media these days is, when it comes to fitness, is honestly a toxic hellscape, especially Instagram. Let a woman in a gym or whatnot do anything that can, be seen as negative. And that's honestly a fast track to riches, as the comment section and the views are just gonna be all people lambasting on how women don't belong in the gym, by basically every manosphere loser and dork and dweeb who doesn't even know how to take a shower, nevertheless actually come outside and touch grass or work on their fitness. Step over step action, strike the ground, accelerate up to 60, all right? I know what I'm talking about on that one. Sometimes, I like to engage with these people in like internet comment sections and stuff, just to give them a little pushback. And usually they'll cave when they don't know what they're talking about. The gym isn't safe to be in anymore. And you start asking about what their workout routine is, how long they've been in the gym and whatnot. And then you see real quick that they're just, regurgitating things that they've seen and heard from other people or, the internet rather than their own experiences. And that's where, you can let people know, like, outliers are outliers. You don't really know what you're talking about. If the gym wasn't safe, I wouldn't be calling it my sanctuary. And even though I'm not in the gym right now, because like I said, today's acceleration, mobility day, and I'm still waiting for this to heal. The gym's been my sanctuary for some years now, so hey, the gym's pretty safe. All right, last one, best one. Really gonna try to push self here, step over step action. Still 60, 65, not doing a full fly. I'm just pushing get myself back into it without hurting myself. But right now, this is really tight. Slow. I'm gonna feel that later. I'm definitely gonna feel that later. But at the same time, like, the body's like, hey, just open these hips up more, get back to your stretching like you're supposed to be doing, and stay on the grind. Well, a month or two. And even then, that doesn't really work as a litmus test when it comes to people, as there are those that have such politics that are active in the gym, and you'll tend to know about them because they always discuss their politics openly in the gym, and you just can't help but overhear them. And in my anecdotal experience, those people tend to be the ones that also don't put their weights back. So just to me personally, I'm like, you have to be an audacious individual to have such, reprehensible politics, and yet at the same time don't even know how to practice basic gym etiquette. Like, talk about the disrespect. All I'm trying to say here is that the fitness journey is that, a journey. You're not a high value man just because a bunch of podcast bros who pay women so they can yell at them tell you that you're a high value man. Having muscles doesn't give you worth. And it's that type of information that's kind of the problem in the first place. Like, look, we all go through depression, loneliness, sadness, and all the other negative emotions that exist, because that's life. Life is a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster where mainly mids, with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. But the goal of life is to try to just stay in that mid lane. But the goal of life is also try to enjoy life while you're here. And that's how a lot of us use fitness, especially me, because I have a lot of deep-seated rage and anger and whatnot. And when it comes to exercise and other things, I use this, to channel that, to put that in a positive way, because if not, I'm borderline crashing out, arguing with people, ready to get in fights and a bunch of other stuff. So why not take that negativity and try to use it in a positive way? That's why, I definitely love weightlifting. That's why I'm sad that I can't weightlift now, because when it comes to fitness, whether I'm lifting weights or, running or whatnot, it's just me, my mind, my body, and telling myself, like, who the fuck think they're gonna beat me? Me? Nobody beat me. Me can't even beat me. I'll be damned if I let my body get defeated by a track or a weight or some other shit. Who the fuck do they think they are? And that's basically like the mentality that I have. Also why I like team sports, because the challenge of self is one thing, but the challenge of others, now that's an objective, you know, that's a goal. I could take that rage and things and I could pinpoint it at something or somebody or, you know, some people. And now the goal is, who the fuck is gonna outwork me? These motherfuckers? Hell no. Ugh. But safe about it as well, because, hey, there was a time I had a hamstring injury for 8 months because I overdid it. So, you know, don't go too far with it, but be smart. So when it comes to that aggression and everything else, look, trust me, I understand it. I get it. Like I said, I love to compete. Hell, there was a time I was interested in the Marines, and not because I like the imperialistic nature that is America, but because I wanted to challenge myself, and I definitely wanted to do the Crucible. Hell, to this day, I still kind of want to do the Crucible. It looks like it would be like fun and something, you know, that would really be worth, you know, a physical and mental challenge when I'm more, you know, physically fit, when I get these like little loose flexibility issues and whatnot out the way. But you know what doesn't look like fun? Being around a bunch of toxic, insecure males, or even worse, paying thousands of dollars for an alpha male boot camp. Okay, that doesn't say I'm a man, you know, that's masculine and everything. That says I'm kind of a chump. But I'm not gonna be completely, you know, mean and disrespectful and, you know, condescending on that, because I do understand that the desire for brotherhood and camaraderie, you know, is something that some people like. Like if you've ever played a sport, the locker room is, is one of the funnest places there is, a good locker room. But that brotherhood and camaraderie comes from, a good brotherhood and camaraderie comes from, you know, having a shared objective, a shared goal in a teamwork environment, while also, and this is the most important, being your genuine self. If you're not being your genuine self, or you're being just an absolute dickhead and shit, you're not going to find it there, because nobody's going to like you. So if that's what you're looking for, or that's what, you know, whoever's watching this, or if that's what they're looking for, right? Because I don't think those people are going to really like this video. Then, you know, his best efforts is to join a rec league, you know, find a rec sport. There's those things that exist. You got rec rugby, rec football, rec yoga, or whatever. But you're not going to find it from that other crowd. And on the other note, like if they're getting into fitness because, hey, you know, the opposite sex, I really want to attract them, sure, absolutely. I mean, that's a possibility. People generally are attracted to others that take, you know, good care of themselves. But at the same time, having all this and all this doesn't make you an alpha male. It makes you a man-child. And being that man-child, you understand, you're going to attract whoever you're looking for, whether it's the opposite sex, same sex, whatever. But as the saying says, birds of a feather flock together. You're going to find somebody who's of the equal mental status as you. That shit's going to be toxic as hell. Meanwhile, the fat, funny guy that is emotionally and mentally secure, he's batting 1,000 right now because he's sure of himself and confident. Shit looks weird. Shit feels weird. Lateral skips, I like. Side skips, I don't like. I'm not really moving the camera anymore. I'm keeping it right there. Starting to get dark. I'm gonna finish the rest of this shit. This hip is tight right now. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stretching and shit. But ultimately, the whole goal of fitness, the gym, all that shit, is the fact that it's, you know, it's self. It's a journey of self, not a journey of self-destruction. The honest to God goal of all this stuff is, as they say, you know, reach for the stars. You might touch the moon, or however it goes. That's it. The goal is to reach for the stars, not to keep your head in the ground. Like this, I just kind of shared, you know, what I'm doing today with the audience. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's a lot of ugly, especially on this side right now. You know, those skips are not, they're not the best they can be, but that's fine. Ain't the first time I've been here. Hopefully it's the last time I'm here. It's not the first time I've been here, you know, from taking days off, working too much, my body regressing a bit. And trust me, some dedicated days of stretching and everything else and staying consistent with it now that bills are out the way, I'll be right back to where I was. Can't let this keep happening, because once again, I'm not gonna be this age forever. But that's ultimately it. But with that being said, I'm gonna finish up these last 2 sets I think I have left. You know, a hip drive and side skips, whatever. Like I said, they're not lateral skips. Lateral skips are I don't even think I could do that shit right now. My hip was like, absolutely not. Okay. Or as my friend would say, okay. But yeah, I don't even think I could like, this side's too tight. So it is what it is. You already know how I'm going to end it. I'll see y'all the next one, and deuces. Also, I'm pretty sure that flag making that noise is going to be annoying in post, but whatever. Peace. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Oh, how I love stretching. Oh my God.